Alright, so let's look at translating word problems. So here it says Elizabeth bought 6 beach towels for 15 each. So let's catch that information, 6 for 15 each. 8 bottles of sunscreen for $5 each. And 2 pair of sunglasses for $23 each. How much did she spend in all? So let's kind of take this into parts. So if at first we look at towels. So the towels, if I have 6 towels and each of them cost $15, then we want to multiply that. So we get 6 sets of 15, and so then we'll know how much money was spent on just the towels. And so the towels alone is going to be $90. Alright, let's look at the sunscreen. So for the sunscreen, we have 8 bottles, and each of them is $5. So again, we want 8 sets of the $5 sunscreen, and so that's going to give us $40. And last but not least, we've got the sunglasses. And that's 2 sunglasses at $23 each, so that's going to be $46. Alright, so here when we're saying that we've got a total and then a price for each, we multiply those. And then last but not least, what did she spend, right? That's our X here. How much did she spend in total? And so X is going to equal to, well, we have the 90 for the towels. All right, we have the 40 for the sunscreen. And we have the 46 for the sunglasses. So if we add these all together, let's see how much money Elizabeth has spent for her little beach trip here. So 90 and 40 and 46. So that is a total of $176. Alright, keep in mind here, we don't necessarily need the units here when we're adding, but we definitely want to make sure that we have units on our final answer. So always make sure we've got units. Alright, Justin has a balance of $15 in his checking account. Okay, so we've started with $15. He made a deposit of $784, deposit of $556, deposit of $413, and $50. Alright, and he wrote checks for $551, $347, $12, and $81. So when all the deposits are recorded and all the checks cleared, what is his balance? So last but not least, we want to know what is the balance. Alright, so it seems like we've kind of have a starting amount. So we start with $15, so that's going to be positive, right? And then we deposit $784, $556, $413, and $50. And then he wrote checks, which means that that's going to be taken out, right? So we're going to want to subtract those. He wrote checks for $551, $347, $12, and $81. So we know that we're starting with 15. Let's see how much money was deposited total. So 784 plus 556 plus 413 plus 50. So we've got a total deposit, and we're going to add these because he deposited each one of these amounts. So a total deposit of $1,803. And then the checks would be money that's coming out of his account. So we also want to add these together. And so we got 551 plus 347 plus 12 plus 81. And so our total here for the checks that were written is going to be 991. So overall, X is going to equal, well, we have a starting balance of 15, so that's $15. And then we are going to subtract the amount of checks, and we want to add the deposits. So let's add the deposits first. So $15 plus our deposit of $1,803, and then let's subtract the money that we spent, which is the $991. So overall, we've got the 15 plus $1,803, and then we want to subtract the $991. So at the end of the day, Justin has a balance of $827 in his account. So again, sometimes we have to be careful when we read through and make sure that we know what's being added and what's being subtracted. And we also want to make sure that we knew that we were subtracting each of those checks. So it's easier to come up with the total first. All right, so Enrique's car gets 32 miles per gallon. And we want to know how many gallons. So what we want to know is how many gallons here. And then we're given some more information, which is that we drove 5,506 miles on the highway. So we got to think about this. So we know that 32 miles will give us a gallon. So what we want to do is we want to think about, okay, if I've driven 5,536 miles, and each set of 32 miles will give me a gallon, then I want to divide that by the 32 so that we've got the number of miles per gallon. So here I want to set this up as x equals, so how many, the 5,536 miles, and I'm going to divide that by the 32 since we need sets of 32 to determine the number of gallons. And so then when we simplify that, we get 173 gallons. All right, so we wanted to take the total number of miles, and we know that every set of 32 miles will give us every set of 32 miles, right, is going to be 1 gallon of gas. So we take the total number of miles and we divide it by sets of 32, and so we get 173 gallons total.